Hello guys, welcome back to another interview. Today I'm honoured to be joined by one of the all-time greats, Randy Couture. Randy, thank you very much for joining me, like I said, on a busy schedule leading up to tonight's fights. How excited are you for tonight's fights?
I'm very excited. Light heavyweights getting after it tonight in the MMA PFL Challenger Series is going to be amazing. A lot of amazing talented. We got Egypt, Nigeria, I think one other country represented tonight in the Challenger Series. So in typical fashion with the PFL, pretty amazing because we've given away 5 contracts already in this year's Challenger Series. So a lot of great expectation and young fighters coming in and showing their wares tonight.
And that's exactly what they've done so far. There's been some impressive. Emmanuel Souza, he fought last week, the week before. Amazing fights. I watch these fights and I'm thinking, how are these guys not already signed? Some of them, they've got real professional cardio as well. Sometimes I wonder maybe their cardio might slip because they're not, at the highest level. But no, they're in there battling.
Yeah, been impressive. Last weekend, Brian Zurcher getting the contract, and obviously he fought a couple times last season through the Challenger Series and some of the showcase fights, and he's just been a solid performer. Did a great job. These guys get after it, and they figured out how to mitigate the adversity of a regular season. And the guys coming out of the Challenger Series have added another fight to that already challenging roster. So we saw Carlos Leal last year embrace that and get all the way to the semifinals. Delano Taylor, obviously coming out of the Challenger Series last year, made it all the way to the finals. So a lot of potential, a lot of amazing athletes, and a kind of a no BS way of kind of ferreting out new talent for the PFL.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great card. And touching on tonight's fights, like I say, we have some great fights. I'm trying not to get his name wrong, but Impa Kasanganai, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
He's fighting. It's close enough.
I'm glad you said that and not me.
Yeah. The Egyptian man he's fighting, I'm not even going to try because I will absolutely butcher it and I don't mean any disrespect. But is there any fights in particular you're looking forward to? Because I'm mostly looking forward to Impa fighting. He was in the UFC. I'm looking to see how well he's going to do coming back to the main stage. Is there any that you've got your eye on?
I think, as a judge, I'm here as a judge. I'm not commentating tonight. I'm just judging. So I have to kind of keep an open mind. Obviously going to analyze all 8 of the fighters that step in that cage tonight. Obviously the winners are going to be advanced to the potential to get the nod and get a contract. So I got to kind of keep an open mind and not to make my mind up before we actually see them perform.
Of course. And what do you think of this format that PFL have got going on? It's not like any other promotion, This week we've got the week 7 of the Challenger Series, and of course April 10th, PFL season starts. It seems PFL are given exactly
April 1st.
Is it April 1st? Yeah.
Oh, First three shows are in Las Vegas, and the regular season kicks off April 1st. So
April 1st.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's absolutely a grind. But I think the athletes seem to like it. They're not waiting for the phone to ring. When am I going to get my next fight? They know exactly when their next fight is and who that potential opponent's going to be. There's the challenge, kind of juggling, turning around and fighting every 7 weeks. You're going to fight 4 times in 5 months if you want to win a title and be the champ in the PFL. So I think that they've embraced that grind very diligently, and it's been impressive to see. It's been fun to watch and fun to be a part of.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a great season if it's anything like last season as well. And just touching on last season, what did you think of the whole thing? Now it's done. Was there any people that surprised you? Looking back on it.
Yeah, I think Brendan Loughnane was one of the big surprises last season. Here on paper, traditionally a great striker and a striking background, but he showed some amazing ground skills and beat some very formidable opponents to get to the championship last year. Rob Wilkinson was another one that kind of came out of nowhere that I don't think anybody had a lot of expectation of. And man, just very impressive, knocking guys out one after the other. And looking forward to seeing him again this season as well in the light heavyweight division. So some big challenges and some big names.
Yeah, and Rob Wilkinson again booked a fight. He's fighting Thiago Santos. That's going to be. What do you think of that fight? Because I just spoke to Thiago the other day.
Yeah, going to be an amazing fight. Both guys have a lot of skills. Rob is riding high off of last year's championship, stepping in there against a very, very challenging opponent. Can he solve the problem?
Exactly, and it's an exciting one. And like we say, Thiago brings a lot of power as well. Rob's
Mm-hmm.
performance in the final last season, I thought, was excellent. I think he might have been coming in as an underdog as well, and to do
Yeah.
what he done. I believe he got did he get the finish, the rear naked choke finish? I believe.
Yeah,
I'm
he did.
thinking
He got the
correctly.
finish. Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. And like I say, now going into this season, we've got a great lineup of fights, which we can guarantee will be entertained. Do you have your eye on anyone in particular, which you feel like last season, obviously, like you said, we had Rob, we had Brendan. Do you think there's anyone that, might shock us as well this season?
Well, I think we got to be paying attention to Delano Taylor. Here's a young kid, came through the Challenger Series, faced a lot of adversity, made it all the way to the finals, came up a little bit short in that final, but this guy has a ton of potential. Got to definitely anxious to see how he fares going through the regular season and embracing the grind this season for sure.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And just want to touch on a bit about you, really. How you find being a celebrity judge? Usually, back in the day, it was you bringing the heat, and now you get to sit back, have the best seats in the house, and make a judgment. Do you enjoy this role?
I do. The judging thing is a little bit different, obviously. I've kind of gotten in the groove in the booth with Sean and Kenny and commentating, doing the color and kind of taking a little bit different role, wearing a little bit different hat. I did 4 of the Challenger Series fights last year and only managed to get 3 of them in this year. I'll do this week and next week, and I did one of the earlier shows, but it's a little bit different role. It's a more comfortable role. I don't have to talk the whole time. I can kind of sit back, analyze, watch the fights, enjoy the fights, and then get down to the real nuts and bolts of it to determine who really deserves a shot at a title in the regular season.
And would you say you prefer it out of the two, of working on the table? As I'm guessing, as an MMA fan yourself, you probably enjoy the judging side more because you get to watch it in detail. You haven't got to talk and talk and talk.
It's a little more relaxing role as a celebrity judge, but man, I love the commentating. I think it's no better seat than sitting right there at cage side. I feel hanging out with Kenny and Sean. We have a great time. We make a lot of jokes and have a lot of fun. It's a blast too. So it's just a little bit different. Obviously, a little more on the line. You got to be a little more on point when you're wearing that microphone and that headset. But I like both jobs. Tough not to like it.
Of course. For any MMA fan pioneer like yourself, this is a great role to have. And just lastly, like I said, we have some great fights this weekend. Is there anyone you feel will strive forward and will be close to getting a contract? Obviously, to be fair, you probably can't actually comment on that one. Actually,
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, this sport can be so volatile that you can make predictions all you want, and then what actually unfolds in the cage is going to fool you every time. You're going to be wrong. So try not to make up my mind. Certainly with so much riding on it for these athletes, these 4 winners that get advanced, they'll immediately cut that in half, and we'll be talking about 2 guys and which one of those 2 guys should get the nod and gets a contract. So a lot riding on that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And just lastly, how would you have liked this back in your day? Would you have been comfortable doing this? These quick turnarounds, these opportunities. Obviously, back when you fought, I feel like the opportunities weren't as big as it is now, and as easy.
Well, I fought in the tournament format. I fought twice in one night. I did fight in some progressive tournaments as well in Japan, Shuto, and the KOK tournament, and so certainly been in that environment when I was younger for sure. I think if I was still fighting and a young man now, I'd be involved in the PFL. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. And it's the place to be at the moment. They've got so much going on. It's just so entertaining. And they are really leveling up, really putting the work in. So what a night we'll have ahead of us. Thank you very much for joining, Randy. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope you enjoy the fight just as much as I will. And I'm sure you will.